Hello everyone, back again with movie and tune recap. Today, I'm going to explain an American horror survival film from 2017, titled Escape Room. Spoilers ahead, so watch out and take care. The movie begins with a man locked in a room, trying to solve a puzzle box, and after a while, he managed to open it, where he finds a key with double edges. In front of him are two metal bollards, each with a keyhole. He chooses the wrong one, and after inserting the key and turning it, a sharp needle pierces his palm. Blood starts pouring from his hand, and his body begins to twist unnaturally before he collapses and dies, and it's revealed that the needle was coated with poison. We then see someone watching the man through a CCTV camera, and the watcher exits the building and drives away. Next, we meet a couple, Tyler and Kristen, who are on their way to a restaurant to celebrate Tyler's 30th birthday with their friends. On the way, they're stopped by a drunk homeless man who approached their car and startled them, but Tyler quickly drives away. When they arrive at the restaurant, they're greeted by Tyler's sister, Tabby, and her boyfriend, Conrad. Tyler and Kristen then meet up with the rest of their friends, Hadley, Natasha, and Anderson, a married couple, and it's revealed that Tyler once cheated on Kristen with Natasha. As the group celebrates and have fun, Kristen surprises Tyler with a birthday gift, an escape room card. Tyler is shocked that Kristen went to such lengths to plan the surprise for him, and they both share a kiss. Kristen tells the group that she has already organized the escape room game and only needs their cooperation, and after some discussion, they all agree to join. She explains that they have 1 hour to complete the game, and when Tabby jokingly asks what will happen if they don't finish in time, Conrad laughs and says they'll be trapped in the room forever. After leaving the restaurant, Hadley approaches Kristen and asks to join the game as well. However, Kristen declines, explaining that the game is by reservation only, and Hadley says her goodbyes before walking away. The group is then picked up by a black van and driven to the location of the escape room. As part of the game's rules, Kristen collects everyone's wallets, purses, and phones to prevent them from searching for clues online. While they continue celebrating, the group begins to notice that the drive is taking longer than expected, and Tyler tries to get the driver's attention, but there's no response. Curious, the group asks Kristen how she found the escape room since it wasn't listed online, and Kristen shows them a puzzle box, an invitation that was sent to her anonymously. After solving the puzzle, a light inside the box illuminated, revealing the website for the escape room. Suddenly, the van's lights start flickering before going out completely, and after a moment of darkness, the lights come back on, and Kristen announces that they've arrived at the building for the game. As part of the game, Kristen suggests that everyone should blindfold themselves, and she then leads the group out of the van and into the building. When they remove their blindfolds, Tyler finds himself locked in a room filled with old televisions, clocks, and piles of newspapers, and unknown to him, someone is clearly watching his every move. Meanwhile, Anderson and Natasha find themselves separated from the others in a different room. Their room has pictures of animals hanging on the walls, more clocks, and they realize they are bound together with shackles. In another room, Tabby and Conrad are locked in a stark white space with an LED display on the wall. Conrad noticed that there's a combination lock attached to his belt, and after working out the right code, Tabby helps him to unlock the device from his waist. Back in their room, Natasha and Anderson struggle but eventually manage to untie themselves. Tyler, after solving some puzzles in his own room, realizes the couple is in the next room. He spots a lock connecting the two rooms, and using clues provided by Natasha and Anderson from the stopped clocks in their room, he managed to unlock the door. As the door opens, Natasha finds a key hidden inside the doorway, and the couple use it to unlock the shackles binding their hands. Thinking about the next clue, Natasha notices the animal pictures on the wall and realizes the next clue might be hidden there. The group arranges the pictures in the order of the food chain, which triggers a door to open, revealing Conrad and Tabby behind a glass. Unfortunately, they can see each other but can't communicate due to the soundproof barrier. The group finds another door that connects to the lovers' room, but to enter, they need to go through the room Tyler just exited. They locate the door but realize it's locked and requires a key. Anderson goes back to their previous room to retrieve the key they had used to unlock their shackles, but it doesn't match with the door. The group frantically searches the room and eventually finds the key hidden behind a clock, and they unlock the door leading to the lovers' room. Suddenly, the televisions in the room turns on, showing Kristen locked up in a cage, and a countdown timer reveals they have only 42 minutes to rescue her. Tyler, thinking it's all part of the game, remarks how exciting it is, but the rest of the group grows uneasy, unsure where the game is heading. For the next clue, they enter the white room, and Tyler notices that the LED display which was previously there has disappeared. After some experimentation, they realize the LED display only turns on when the door is shut, and Tabby suggests they need to spell something, but they can't figure out what. The group returns to the room filled with newspapers, and Anderson realizes their next clue must be a 9-letter word. Since it's Tyler's birthday, they decide to search for newspapers with today's date. After combing through the papers, Anderson finds one with the correct date, and the group piece together the word they need to spell. Tabby and Conrad enter the white room to input the word on the LED display while Tyler, Natasha, and Anderson watch from the other room. After several attempts, the group finally cracks the riddle and spells the correct word on the LED display. They celebrate their success, and Anderson proceeds to unlock the door for Conrad and Tabby. However, the door refuses to budge, and in the process, the key snaps in the lock. After informing Tyler about the issue, the group reassures the couple that they need to stay calm and tied up until they find another key. Suddenly, a pipe emerges in the lovers' room, which releases a fog. At first, the group still believes it's part of the game, but soon they realize the fog is no ordinary mist, it's acidic. They watch in horror as Tabby and Conrad begin to melt, screaming in agony. The group can do nothing but helplessly witness Tabby and Conrad succumb to their gruesome deaths. The aftermath leaves the group shaken and distraught, and Natasha angrily blames Anderson for the tragedy, accusing him of being responsible for their deaths. Anderson defends himself, explaining that he tried everything to open the door, but it just wouldn't budge. The group starts to understand that the game is far deadlier than they anticipated, and they realize that if they don't find a way out soon, they'll all meet the same fate. Frantically, they search for an escape, and Kristen, still locked in the cage, watches the group as they scramble for a solution. Finally, they discover a hidden vent behind the newspapers. Without hesitation, Tyler and Natasha crawl into the vent, desperate to escape, but Anderson initially decides to stay behind, still shaken by what has happened. After some second thoughts and Natasha's urging, he reluctantly follows them into the vent. As the group makes their way through the vent, they encounter a locked grate that will only open if they solve a puzzle. As they argue about how to proceed, they begin to hear unsettling noises growing louder and closer. Anderson quickly solves the puzzle, and the grate unlocks just in time. Tyler and Natasha rush through the opening, but as Anderson follows, the ducts begin closing in on him. Tragically, Anderson becomes stuck, and the ducts crush him, killing him instantly. Shocked and horrified, Tyler and Natasha realize that they have somehow ended up back in the same room they had escaped earlier. Seeing Kristen still trapped in her cage and helpless, Tyler becomes aggressive, frustrated by his inability to do anything to help her. As they search for a way out, they come across a locked door, which they believe to be the exit. However, it requires a final clue to unlock. Tyler finds a lever inside the mouth of a bear statue, which releases the lock on the door. But when Natasha tries to open it, a large mechanical maw begins descending toward Tyler's arm. He decides to switch places with Natasha, and as Tyler struggles to open the door, the maw starts closing in on Natasha's arm. Despite her protests for Tyler to stop, he refuses, and finally, Tyler managed to unlock the door, but in doing so, the maw crushes Natasha's arm. In the next room, Tyler encounters a series of pictures of his friends, which form part of another puzzle leading to the final room. He solved the puzzle using the escape room tickets as clues. Once he enters the next room, Tyler finds a screen showing Kristen in her cage, and as he sits on a chair, a timer suddenly activates. For the first time, Tyler can hear and speak to Kristen. He urgently asks her what's going on, but she admits she has no idea. Tyler, consumed by anger and grief, blames Kristen for the deaths of their friends, accusing her of leading them into this deadly trap. However, the distressed Kristen insists she had no part in their deaths, and that she woke up in the cage, just like everyone else. As the timer counts down, two buttons light up on opposite sides of the room, one labeled Save Him, and the other Save Her. Panicking, Tyler watches the clock tick closer to 0, and before time runs out, Tyler presses the Save Me button, and Kristen presses the Save Him button, hoping to protect him. Suddenly, a sharp metal spike pierces Tyler's chest, and Kristen watches in horror through the screen, helpless as Tyler succumbs to his injuries, before the screen went blank. The cage Kristen was trapped in suddenly unlocks, allowing her to make her way out. Disoriented and horrified, she realizes she's been inside a van the entire time. Dazed and naked, Kristen stumbles through the streets until she finally reaches a payphone. Desperate, she dials 911 to report everything that's happened. However, during the call, the signal gets interrupted, and she begins to hear another voice, someone posing as a dispatcher. The voice soon reveals itself to be the game master, the person responsible for the horrific deaths of her friends. He taunts her, letting her know that he's still watching her through hidden cameras, and a flashback reveals how Kristen ended up locked in the cage. She defiantly tells the game master that the police are on their way, but he laughs, telling her they'll never believe her story. Overwhelmed by guilt and grief for her friends' deaths, Kristen breaks down and collapses to the ground. The payphone goes silent for a moment before the real 911 dispatcher's voice returns, telling Kristen to stay with her, and the movie concludes. Okay guys, that's all the recap about Escape Room from 2017. Thanks for watching, see you again in the next video.